Today is October the 13th, 2016. My name is John Rodriguez, a volunteer with the Hanford branch of the Kings County Library Volunteer History Project. Would you please state your full name?
Glenn Powell Jr.
Thank you, Glenn. And where are you from, Glenn?
Powell, Nebraska.
And your parents, what did they do for a living?
Oh, they just did everything. They were farmers. They run a post office. They run a grocery store. And that was about it.
Whatever it took to put food on the table.
And I've done all that. I've run a grocery store. And I've run the post office when my dad was gone on vacation. So I did a little bit of everything.
A jack of all trades.
Huh?
A jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
And your siblings. How many siblings did you have? How many brothers and sisters?
3 sisters.
3 sisters.
That was it.
None of them served in the armed forces?
No. Nope.
And what did you do before serving? What did you do before serving?
Oh, I was a construction worker. Building roads and bridges.
And you served in the Navy, correct?
I served in the Navy.
And you
And then
enlisted.
while I was in boot camp, I saw the Seabees there. And I thought, well, that's my bag of tea.
That's what you wanted to do.
I wanted to be in construction, so I joined the Seabees.
Let's talk about when you enlisted. You said you were 17 and your father had to sign for you. Correct?
Yes, he had to sign for me.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Pardon?
Let's talk about that.
Well, I just was in high school and I was afraid the Army would get me. And I talked to my dad. I said, Dad, I want to get out. I want to be in the Navy. And he said, okay, I'll sign for you. He shouldn't have never done it, but he did.
And what you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
He should have let me go to high school, finish high school. 3 more months and I'd have graduated.
And what year was that?
And that was in 44.
1944. And seeing the Seabees inspired you to join the Navy, correct?
Yes.
And that
Yes.
was it. And you knew that's what you wanted to do.
I was always a construction man.
You liked working with your hands and
Yeah.
building things. And how was the boot camp experience?
Oh, it was nice. I just had a good time there. I
Yeah.
volunteered I was the minister's carry boy. I carried stuff for him. He'd send me on the bike to get milkshakes,
Oh.
and my guys were out there marching on the field.
And how about any drill? Do you have any specific memories of any particular drill instructors?
Well, yeah, if I can remember them. Just different things that I run into. They was teaching us how to swim. Well, I knew how to swim. But most of the people didn't know how to swim. And the instructor says, now if you don't know how to swim, don't jump in. One big red-headed guy jumped in and he sank to the bottom. And they finally saw him down there and they got him out. And then he give him hell. He says, what did you jump in for?
And how was the adjustment to military life? What was the adjustment like?
Oh, it was different than my life.
Yeah.
I was just a little old farm boy. Everything was new to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just was new to me.
What did you do on leave?
No leave.
There was no leave.
No.
No liberty at all.
No liberty. Well, we went into Chicago one time.
Mm-hmm.
But they shipped us straight over to Camp Parks in San Francisco as soon as we got out of boot camp.
Did you have any specialized training?
No, no, just construction work. We knew what we were doing.
And so you, 1944, you deployed prior to combat operations.
Yeah, we went to Frisco. And old Bob Hope put on a show for us before we left overseas
With the USO?
at Camp Parks. I remember that real well.
Yeah, how was that?
Oh, it was good. It was just wonderful.
He's a funny man.
Yeah.
Did you witness any fighting?
No,
No? So your assignment wasn't anywhere near...
no, the war was over when I went to Guam. In fact, in boot camp, the war was over. So that was good. I volunteered over on Guam to go out. There was Japs all over Guam, and they didn't know the war was over.
Oh.
They were still fighting. One of my buddies got shot at. He had a cat up on a hill, and they started shooting at him. He crawled down underneath it.
Yeah.
But we would have volunteers on weekends to go hunt for them. And I volunteered for that too. That was a stupid thing to do. Because I run into a bunch of bees and I got stung. But we did find a cave full of rifles, Japanese rifles.
Mm-hmm.
And I took one of them and carried the darn thing all the way back to Frisco. When they called my train, they said the train's leaving for Nebraska. I forgot about that gun. I had it in a locker. And I had my .45 that I always carried. And it was in there too. I lost all that.
What were some of your stresses associated with your
The what?
assignment? What were some of the stresses, the stressful situations that you remembered about your assignments?
Nothing. I just had a good time
It was work.
while I was in there.
And how would you say that these experiences impacted your life? How did they affect your life?
Well, it made me do a lot of thinking. When I seen them people coming off a bikini, I thought, that's not right. And it wasn't. To take a person off of his home and destroy it. Maybe they give him a lot of money, I don't know. I never could figure that out. And I've thought about that forever. Because them people lived on that island, it was their island, and they didn't bother anybody. And we talked them into getting off. And then we destroyed it.
How were they moved off? They put on a ship?
They
or
had a
boat?
big ship. They just walked down the gangplank and got on this ship. But they're coming back. They're coming back to that island. And the radiation is coming up through that 3 foot of dirt. We put 3 foot of dirt over that island to stop the radiation. But they'll die of cancer.
Do you know where they were sent to?
Pardon?
Do you know where they were sent to?
No, I don't. I don't know where they took them. Probably to Hawaii or someplace. I don't know.
Let's talk about your military friendships. The people that you met while you were in the service, and the friends
I
you made.
met a lot of friends.
Yeah. Are you in contact with them?
Nope, I never. One of them wanted me to go to Texas. His dad was in the oil industry. And he says, I can get you a good job. But I wanted to go home.
Yeah. Speaking of home, how did you stay in contact with your family?
Oh, I just wrote them letters.
Letters, there was...
And my little girlfriend, she wrote to me.
Were you awarded any medals or citations?
No, I just had different deals.
Would you like to speak about any wounded or fallen comrades that you've had?
No,
No?
it was a joy to meet old Jack because we could talk, he could talk to me and I could understand it. I can't imagine being prisoner for 5 years.
Yeah, Mr. Schwartz.
And I was good to them. I had 20 prisoners that worked for me. I was in the cement plant, took care of the cement plant. And they were up on a hill, and I'd hold up my hands, 18 sacks or 12 sacks. They'd cut the sacks open and dump them in a trough. And I was good to them, but they weren't good to our guys.
Yeah. And you said that you and Mr. Schwartz were on the same island. Correct?
Yes, we were,
But you didn't know each other.
yeah, we took Guam and saved him.
Yeah. How did you find out that you were on the same island? Just
Well, talking to him
with
here.
one another. Right. Wow.
And then I showed him my book. He said, "Oh, I want to see that book." And he's the one that gave me that picture of the bomb going off. And when my granddaughter was writing out these papers, on her little picture thing, it showed that bomb going off, just like a movie. Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't believe that. I said, "Well, Amy, that's something else." And that's how old Jack got that picture of that bomb. He got that off the internet.
Is there anything specific you remember about when you saw that bomb go off? Is there anything that sticks out in your
Well,
mind?
see, I didn't see anything like
Oh.
that.
Oh,
I heard it.
Yeah,
I
felt
was
it.
in my living room when they set that bomb off. And of course, you don't know what happened. I said, "There goes my tower." Probably.
And how many bombs did you actually?
One
hear?
bomb.
Just one. Oh, okay.
And they dropped it 90 foot of water. And then they set it off. And it showed that water going up in the sky,
Like a geyser.
hundreds of feet, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Do you remember the day that your service ended?
Oh, gosh, no.
No. You remember the year?
46.
1946.
Figure that, 1946. St. Louis. I even hitchhiked home.
Oh, really? And
Yeah.
how old were you? How old were you?
I was 19,
19, and hitchhiked from St. Louis back to Kansas?
Nebraska.
No, I'm sorry, Nebraska.
Yeah. We was in St. Louis.
And what was the, can you describe the readjustment to civilian life?
It really, I wasn't out only a year. It really didn't affect me.
So the transition
Anyway,
was,
no.
was smooth.
I just wanted to get home. That's all I wanted.
You wanted to get home to mom's cooking?
Yeah. And my little wife.
Uh,
I was with her for 68 years. Started going with her when she was 13.
your sweethearts for that long.
Yes. Yes. We had 5 kids, 4 girls and a boy. We planned on 6 and we lost a boy.
And what was the reception at home when you got home? What was they were happy to have you back.
I
I'm
guess,
sure.
yeah. I hope they were happy.
And your occupation after the service was in construction,
Yes.
heavy machinery. You
I
said,
went to work for the county,
for Kings County.
for Kings County.
And
Or
how long?
Jefferson County, not Kings.
Oh, I'm sorry.
this King's here.
Right. And how long were you with them?
Oh, about 3 years at $125 a month, raising 4 kids. That wasn't very good.
Did you continue your education afterwards? After being discharged from the Navy, did you continue your education in any way?
Nope,
No.
I never did. I should have done it in the service. Had finished my graduation, but I didn't do it. I hate that too. I should have. My dad should have made me go to college. But I did all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always had a job. Now, I volunteered for this Catholic giveaway place down here. And I wonder about people. Some of them guys are big, healthy men, but they don't have a job. And I never was without a job. I always could get a job. And I think they could too. I'd like to say, come on, fellas, let's go get a job today.
Right.
They bring their little kids in there and get clothes and groceries. And the first man that I took out the groceries to had an Eldorado Cadillac, an $80,000 car. Now, how in the world did he afford that? When he couldn't afford to buy groceries for his kids. That just didn't make sense to me.
Right. Sounds like there's a mix-up in priorities. That's what it sounds
I don't
like.
know. That's something that you just don't understand.
Did you stay in contact with any of your fellow veterans?
No, I didn't.
No?
The kid in, I had real good friends in the Navy, but I should have stayed with them, but I didn't. I was just glad to get home.
Yeah. Do you attend reunions or any ceremonies? Do you attend any, you don't attend any of this? Not a member of the VFW or anything like that?
No.
How has military service affected your life? How has it affected you?
Well, it just made me think a lot.
Yeah.
And you wonder what and why.
Such as what?
Well, just how this whole world gets along. When you live a farm boy in Nebraska, you don't get out and get to knowing what life is really like. But I guess it's pretty rough.
Yeah, you had said that growing up in Nebraska, your neighbors were 6 miles, your nearest neighbor was 6 miles.
Well, that was my great-granddad.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so you come from a small community and then you go out and see what is happening in other areas of the world, and it just
My work was 8 miles to the biggest town. It's just like a little old farm boy. You don't get around much on the farm.
And so to see how the how the world is actually outside of Nebraska must have been
It was really something to me. 'Cause
right.
I'm not used to something like that.
Right. Just like you said, it bothered you that to see these people being displaced from their homes.
That's something I couldn't figure out. I didn't understand that. And I never will understand it. It's all political anymore.
Would you say that's a life lesson that you learned?
Yes. Yes, that's for sure.
So how did these experiences impact your outlook on the military? How does How do you view the military
Oh, I
after
just
that?
enjoyed the military. It was something new to me. You take a farm kid off that don't ever go to town, you just don't understand all that kind of stuff.
Mhm. What are your thoughts on the bomb?
I wish we wouldn't have one. Because I think someday they're going to destroy the world. They'll get them started and they won't be able to stop them.
And no one will win.
That A-bomb is something else. It's just,
Now you said you saw the bomb leveled in Japan.
I think we will be bombed from overseas someday. That it's going to happen. I can just see it. I don't understand it, but why the countries over there don't like us, I don't understand that. It's just hard to fathom.
You want to talk about the bomb or the destruction that you saw in Japan?
Yes, Hiroshima. I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought, my God, look at that. Little kids that were gone. Huh. You just can't imagine that they would drop something like that and destroy human life.
Did you view it as a necessary evil?
Well, probably. It's just hard to understand.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure if more people actually saw
Yeah.
what you've experienced, it would definitely change some opinions.
Yeah.
Future generations are going to see this interview. What would you like them to know?
Just get along with each other.
Yeah, that seems to be in short supply.
Just like this place here.
Right.
Everybody gets along. You got somebody to talk to and visit with, and everybody gets along.
Yes. Is there anything else you'd like to add? This is your story.
Is this recorded? Oh, well, my kids will get a kick out of this.
Yeah, this is your story. This is a unique story.
I'll just think up all the kind of things that I could have said.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
just say whatever you want. This is you. This is
Do you
the
have any memorable experiences in Guam, given this day?
yeah. Are there any memorable experiences in Guam?
It's just good to be alive.
Just good to be alive.
Yes, this long.
How about the food? How was the food over there?
Over there,
In Guam.
real good.
Oh, really?
The Seabees, that's another reason I joined the Seabees, because they carried their own reefers with them all over. Our sailors would come into our camp and eat.
Mm-hmm.
We just had our own stuff. But the guys that run us were not Navy. They were old construction guys. They give a damn about
Right.
shining your shoes or standing erect.
Right.
They were just old construction guys.
They were just there to do their job.
Yeah, just out to do a good job.
What type of foods do they have?
And what types of foods did they have over there?
Oh, we had everything. I mean, like turkey Thanksgiving, man, we had turkeys and everything. It was good.
And you had mentioned that there was it was a nickel for a soda pop and a
Yeah.
nickel for a beer.
Yeah. That was good. That book there, there's only about 300 of them books issued.
Yeah. Would you like to show that book to the camera there and tell a little bit about that?
Well,
What
it's
is it
just
that we have right
it's just a real nice book. I'm proud of it.
And it's called,
Real proud of it.
what's the title of this book here?
Bikini Atoll Atomic Bomb Test.
Yeah, can you hold it up to the camera right there? And yeah. And you are in this book.
Huh?
You are in this book.
Oh, yes. Oh, you bet. I didn't think we'd ever get it, but we got it. And there's a picture in here of we built our tower on the ground. And I'm proud of that old letter of the buck stops here with old Harry Truman. Yeah, it's just good memories. Good memories, 1946.
You've had this book since 1946? You've had this book since 1946?
Yeah, it come in about 3 months after I was out of the service. But I don't even remember when I got out of the service. It was in St. Louis.
In St. Louis. How long were you in St. Louis?
Just a few days. They just,
So when you were discharged from the Navy, you left Guam and then went where? Where did you go from Guam?
come right back to San Francisco.
Okay.
And we were there about 3 days and bang, we were on a train going
To St. Louis?
to St. Louis.
And then from St. Louis, you left back home.
From St. Louis, I hitchhiked to Nebraska. And on our way out, when they brought us out in a train to Frisco, the Camp Parks, we lost about 6 guys. Because we'd stop in some little punk dog town, and they'd run down to a beer joint. And the train would leave, and they would be AWOL.
So you, so you misplaced a few of your passengers.
But we didn't lose any of them coming back.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have any advice for anyone wanting to join the military?
Do you have any advice for anyone wanting to join the military or thinking of joining the military?
Oh, I think the military is nice. A young fella, it's just to be a good place to learn life.
Good life lessons to be
I
learned.
think every one of the young boys could join. And it's a good experience, real good experience.
Well, Mr. Powell, thank you so much for taking time for this interview. And above all, thank you for your service to this
Thank
country.
you for this. My kids will love this.
You were in Guam for how long again? I'm sorry. How long were you in Guam?
Oh God, I don't know. Not very long.
3 months?
They made him
Yeah,
a deal.
at least
If you
3
built the
months.
towers, you could get out.
And then, they told you if you built the towers, go in and get out, right?
Yeah, that was right on the bulletin board. Volunteers, they wanted volunteers. So all my buddies volunteered. And I was the only one they took.
Oh, really?
I've been with them guys all from the day one.
And you were the only one that was chosen.
We left out of Fairbury on the train, and I was in charge of them. We had about 15 of us, and we all went to the Navy. And I was in with them in boot camp. Just had a good time.
Mm.
And we all joined, volunteered for that. But I was the only one. I lost them all. I hated that. They was a good bunch of guys.
Yeah. That would have been nice to have gone to your assignment with some friends.
Yes, that would have been nice.